Alright, another day, more Proud Quests. I'm going to put on the newest Final Fantasy Union podcast. Here we go.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 155 of Final Fantasy Union. I'm your host Daryl, and I'm here with Lauren.
Hi guys!
And today we actually have a special guest. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 155 of Final Fantasy Union. I'm your host Daryl, and I'm here with Lauren.
Hi guys!
And today we actually have a special guest, Dan, aka the musical maestro, known as TPR.
Hello. Thanks, Daryl. That's very kind of you.
I know. Well, you're a guest on the show, so I've got to try and make you seem just amazing, even more amazing than you actually are, but you are amazing.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be on here.
How's it been going?
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of like bit between albums, you know, just kind of working on
That
new
mid-album lull kind
stuff.
of
A bit,
thing.
yeah, it is a bit like that because it's so hard just as soon as you do something not to share it immediately, because as soon as you don't do that, then it's out there and you've got nothing to share when it's all done, sort of thing. So it's just kind of keeping quiet at the moment.
It's that kind of industry knowledge about album releases and singles and
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there you go. starting to show off pretty well
pretty
there.
intense
Yeah, pretty
musical,
intense. Yeah.
music production theory.
Bit inside baseball there for you.
I imagine you're just like a bit like a bear in hibernation, just kind of like, you know, chilling. Alright, I got my food.
This
I'm
is
cool.
great. Music maestro and a hibernating bear in the
Yeah.
first couple of minutes. This is the best podcast ever.
Yay!
So yeah, obviously Dan is joining us today. We're going to have a bit of an interview with him in a bit, so we can find out even more sorts of information about his music career. And then we're going to be talking Gamescom, everything Gamescom, with Dan as well, which is going to be great because he was watching it like a hawk, glued to everything, to the point where he's saying nothing.
Well, I
Yes,
don't know what you wanted
definitely
me to say. No,
Yes, you
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
Yes, you were.
I was completely on it. Yeah.
100%.
Good. Alright, for you new folks who are listening for the first time, Final Fantasy Union is part of a podcast series called Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts Union, and it's presented by the Gaming Union Network. We have a new show every Tuesday working in rotation with Kingdom Hearts Union, and we come on the iTunes Store as well as FinalFantasyUnion.com. And we're now going to do our Patreon shoutouts, and this is for everyone who's pledged $2.50 or more per episode. We're gonna duo this, Lauren?
I'm going to do this with
Okay, good. That's good. Thanks for confirming that.
you. Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to kick things off with Barry Norton at Nortron Zero,
Christian Verge.
Lewis James,
Satya Jayas Dharma at Satya625 Ruben.
Tyson Wildman at Ty Wildman 1,
Blue Machine at Blue Machine.
Chris Morales,
Eric Decker at Choco Taco.
Harley Crawley at Darkset T Okami,
Jonathan Gonzalez at Oh, it's just Johnny.
Josh McNabb at J2K9,
Michael Graham.
Thorin Billen at Masker 23,
Zach Duranto at Zed Duranto 58.
Brian McCardle at Darth Brain 92,
William Trengove.
Mike,
Just,
just Mike,
oh. Billy Jackson at _ Billy Jackson.
Darren Matthews at Doomster 73,
Joseph Robertson at Pokemon Trainer J.
Keith Field at The Mighty Keith,
Mario Herker.
Mike Shirley Donnelly at Curious Quail,
Mohammed Quayam.
Nico Gonzalez at Nick_Knack95,
Winkle the Bernie Bro at the _ Bernie _ Bro.
Rachel Casterton at Urbion Ray,
Vitanitas.
Zelda Clone at Apes Type Novels,
Zach Porter at Porter Paradox.
John McRae,
Marcus Karnecki.
Miles Ribbons,
And Richard Holman at Vex Lenin.
and we have a new Patreon supporters episode who is Prakash Acharya. I'm very sorry if that's been badly pronounced, but thank you for supporting us on Patreon.
Thank you.
Alright, it's time to head into our TPR interview. So of course, if you're not familiar with TPR, he has had over 4 million views on YouTube for his musical arrangements of the Final Fantasy franchise and others. But you're probably familiar with his work thanks to his melancholy Final Fantasy arrangement albums that have been setting the world on fire since, 5-6 years ago. Is that right, Dan?
They haven't been setting the world on fire since any time, but they were out about 5.
I do. They come up like all the time, though. For
I'm so
me.
sorry.
I mean, granted, it's probably because I listen to them so much as well. But like, I still remember when I first was scoping around YouTube and I found them and I was just like, this is really cool. I think it was your Final Fantasy X album that I found initially.
Okay.
And it was just so nice. It was so
thank you.
soothing and relaxing.
It was like, I mean, I've been like kind of following Final Fantasy arrangement music for years. Like obviously OC Remix was pretty big.
The OC Remix.
But before that there was like Project Majestic Mix. But there wasn't really anyone apart from like the Project Majestic Mix guys and I think who were the other guys. There were like some people, the one-ups. There weren't too many people who had actually done actual albums, like properly licensed albums.
Yeah.
I think Piano School had done one as well. But I think that was kind of what initially, like for Laura and I, kind of made you different from other people, and the fact that you'd actually taken the time to make these albums, and the fact that they were, whether you want to admit it or not, actually very popular.
Well, I think part of the appeal is, like you say, that album thing. Like you get a lot of, I guess compilation's the best word for it, where it's several different artists, all incredibly talented, far more talented than I'll ever be, but they all have such a mix of styles that it's hard to listen to a whole album. Like, you're going to love a couple of songs, but then there's a couple of songs that aren't going to be your sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think with my stuff it's all so similar that you're either going to like the majority of it, or you're not going to like any of it, sort of thing. So you can kind of have it as an album rather than just.
That's a really good point, actually, because I think with the OC Remix albums, obviously with the Voice of the Live Stream, that went crazy
so
with them.
many different types.
But they had 50 different people working on that soundtrack.
Yeah.
And like from track to track, the style will different. Like they differ so much.
Yeah. I don't like everything that I hear on OC Remix. I don't. Not all of it is my.
I think it might be impossible to do that because just like music tastes dictate that you're not going to like everything. But the track that you hate is not a bad track because someone else is going to love that track but hate the tracks that you love just simply through just their taste.
Which is why there's a whole genre dedicated to screamo that I have no part of.
Final Fantasy Screamo.
Well, that's my next project. Thanks a lot, guys.
You're wearing up your vocal cord.
Well, kind of on that note, I mean, like your most recent album was actually something of like a change for you.
Yeah.
So it was called Memories of Fantasies for Piano and Cello, and it was a collaboration album. So kind of how did you what did you just feel like you wanted to change? Like how did that come about?
Yeah, a bit of that. It's just like last year I did the Six album. So 2016 March it came out. But this year. For 2017, I just had no Final Fantasy things planned, and I just figured that I gathered a relatively large fan base based on Final Fantasy tributes for, like you said, the past 5 or 6 years. So I didn't really want to go a whole at least 2 years without doing something. And I've always wanted to work with a cellist, so much so that in I think 2012 I actually bought a cello to try and learn myself, and I had this great plan that I was just going to go on YouTube and it was going to be me on piano and then me on cello as well, and I just like these arrangements I was already doing going to be added with cello. Turns out cello's a lot harder than it looks to play. And I gave up after 2 months out of frustration and sold it.
I was going to say
ago.
that would be really intense if you learned how to play cello all by yourself as well.
Yeah, well the problem
people
was
do it.
Yeah, well, this was back when I had a full-time job as well, so it wasn't like I didn't have the time to learn myself, and I didn't really have the time to practice what a teacher could teach me.
Yeah.
So it was just trying, and then at some point it was just oh come on, I could just play an instrument I've been playing for a while now.
Yeah, I think it almost stunts creativity a bit when you try a new medium to I don't know why, but as you get older, you sort of, when you're younger, you're always keen to learn and just, you do whatever, when you're a kid. And then as you get older, you get to a point where you're just like, well, this is stunting my creativity and I can't actually get my what I have sort of in my head or my heart out.
And it's a time thing as well.
Yeah. I just need to get it out, damn it. I need to get it out now.
Basically, you just accept that you will be bad at something.
Yeah. But hey, at least you're good at something.
Yeah, well, okay. Maybe. Definitely, what I'm not good at is definitely cello. So, like, for the first, like, it's still up there, like, basically in all the other, my solos, let's call them, tributes, I'll use a fake cello sound, because I don't think a piano would work for that melody, like the Geneva theme and stuff has the fake cello, and there's a version of Blue Fields as well. But, like, since these albums have been getting more famous and more recognition, like, the revenues come in, and I've been able to afford an actual cellist. And so I did a lot of research. I typed in Final Fantasy cello into YouTube, and one of the first hits was Roxanne, who I duetted with on this current album. And I got in touch with her on Facebook, saying, "Oh, I've got a couple of Final Fantasy arrangements. Would you like to work on?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah, it basically went from there, and she enjoyed doing it. And it's weird, because it's the first time I've ever worked with someone, because I'm not great working with people, and musicians tend to be some of the worst people in the world. So, well, by worst I mean demanding and kind of particular. That's exactly the word. Thank you very much, Daryl. So I was a bit apprehensive, having never worked with someone, but I told her what I'd like, and it came back, and it was absolutely perfect. And I thought, right, well, we'll have to do more of these. And she enjoyed it. I mean, for someone of her talent, her incredible talent, she doesn't have much of an online presence. So I think she was hoping to build something with that. And obviously I was hoping to get some of these incredible cello lines onto my arrangements. And it just worked out so well. And she was always happy to do whatever I would like to do. And we kind of just went from there, yeah. I just had a list of ones I wanted to do. And that's as simple as that, really.
And she's also a very nice person.
She is lovely. Yes, I forgot you even met her. Yes.
Yeah, we didn't mention it before, but Dan and I have known each other for a while now, as has Lauren.
Yes.
Well, I've known Lauren for a while.
Yes, I was going to say.
Lauren's also known Dan for a while.
I think you know Lauren a bit longer than I have.
Yeah, you recently had a launch event for your album, which of course where we met Roxanne as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she is a lovely human being.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, when it came to the creative process, was it you kind of saying, did you write the cello parts as well, or did you let her kind of come up with that herself and you just did the other bits?
So the process was I did my piano part, and then while I was doing it, I'd use a fake cello sound on top, just to hear how it would kind of sound.
I'm sorry.
And then I took that off, gave it to her with sheet music of just what the melody is, like on the Uematsu original. And I was like, do this. If it doesn't work for you, kind of just make it easier for cello, sort of thing, to make it good. And then occasionally she'd come back with these incredibly elaborate bits, and I'd be like, a bit less of that, please, because I don't, like, because she's obviously...
Get rid of that creativity, stop it!
That's what I was worried about. I didn't really want to do that, but at the same time, like, I feel like people would listen to my stuff, and I like to listen to my stuff because it's... What? I didn't mean that. I don't like to listen to my stuff. I like to record my stuff because it's quite simple, and I thought maybe an elaborate cello part would kind of be a bit incongruous with the simple piano, and she just worked... what would be the word? She just kind of simplified the part, and it sounds so good. Occasionally, there are a couple of times where she lets loose, and it still sounds amazing, like in the aria and Pandemonium. She has a bit of more license to just show the world how amazing she is at the cello, rather than being inhibited by my stringent guidelines.
The cello is just such a lovely instrument.
Oh, it's amazing.
I remember I always wanted to learn to play it when I was in school. I'd learned to play the violin, but the cello was just so lovely, but I just couldn't get over how heavy it was.
Well, it's a kind of happy medium between, because the double bass is just ridiculously large.
Oh, yes.
And if you're a double bass player,
two of them
you just have to try and part that thing around, which is just painful.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, the cellists were very, very hefty people.
So do you have a favourite track on the album then?
Honestly, I think it's probably the Xanarkand cover. Like, it was kind of a different experience for me because I went up to London to record rather than do it in my own office, like on a proper.
I was going to say, is that the first time you'd done that?
Yeah. It was, like, because obviously she'll be recording it on her proper cello, so I was like, okay, none of this keyboard nonsense. Let's go up, do it properly, get an engineer in, and that was terrifying. But like, I think it worked so well, and that is the first track of the album simply because I think it's the best. That's normally why I put tracks first on the album, because I like them the most.
Makes sense.
And normally the last one is probably my second favourite, and in this case it's Somnus.
And everything else in the middle is just kind of the stuff
complete filler, Daryl. Absolute filler. Yeah, don't bother listening to it.
I think Somnus is probably my favourite one, but that's because it's the track that when I used to do arrangements, that was the one I liked arranging the most. All those many years ago when it first came out.
I was about to say, from a game that came out last year, then I remembered that it was 2006 or something.
It was about, I think, 11 years ago.
Yeah. I think it is like it is just such a gorgeous track in general. That vocalist in the original Somnus is just incredible. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, Lauren.
That's all that needs to be said. It's an incredible song.
So, I mean, obviously you've been producing music, as we mentioned, about 5 or 6 years now. What made you want to get started in the first place? Was it just kind of like scratching an itch, or did you feel like there was like a need for that kind of stuff? Like people just there weren't arrangements in the style that you liked?
Almost. It was a real frustration with not being a better pianist, because there are the piano collections, very well known and very popular, but like I couldn't play those at all. It's far too complicated. The vast majority are far too complicated. So I wanted to kind of create these classic themes that everyone knows and loves, but in a simpler way that I can play. It was just at the start. It was just kind of something for me to play on the piano, because I played piano when I was like a tiny kid. Like started at 6, and then when I was a teenager, obviously piano's not cool. Don't play piano. Play guitar or something, like a cool teenager. So when I turned 20 or so and realised that I'm not very good at guitar, I should probably go back to the piano. And it turns out I'm not great at that either, because I can't play in the piano collection. But my non-professional taste in music are quite heavy, like rock and metal, and they don't translate very well to the piano. So I couldn't really emulate playing those. But however, I did love those old like Final Fantasy and other classics like PS1 and Super Nintendo RPGs. I love their soundtrack, so I decided to try and play those on the piano. And I think like I did a couple just normal, just like playing like the slower themes, like I don't know, Tifa's theme, and it was just like a piano version that wasn't very different, and it didn't get much action on YouTube, which is not surprising because there wasn't much about it. If you want to listen to something that sounded like that, you'd probably listen to the original. But then I kind of worked in less like piano friendly themes, like the Genova Boss theme and like Make a Reactor, and just slowed it down and just made it work for my low level of talent sort of thing. And people seem to dig that it was a bit different. And it's just kind of gone from there, to be honest.
And what made you decide to publish it on YouTube? Because obviously, as you said, initially you were just kind of trying to transition your style or your competency to the Final Fantasy music.
But it's just like you want to share it, because I was proud of how it sounded and what it sounded like. And to be honest, like my circle of friends isn't really that into video games in general. So I couldn't really go, listen to this. Do you recognise this from 15 years ago? They'd be like, what? So I thought, we'll put it on you. Exactly. Please.
Am I your friend?
Please leave me alone, sort of thing. So I put it on YouTube, and this was at the time where, can you remember video responses?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do, yeah.
So this was at the time.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Exactly, yeah. I think we're talking 2011 was when the first, making air quotes, first melancholy branded tribute of mine was up on YouTube. So I made it a video response to the original. Someone had posted the original on YouTube. So anyone who clicked on that would see a video response of my stuff, and then they see Make a Reactor, a melancholy tribute to Final Fantasy VII, think, well, this sounds like absolute nonsense, but I'll check it out. and then hopefully get a few subscribers from there, and then kind of go from there. But that's the thing. People ask me, how did you get such exposure on YouTube? And I have to tell them that it's now antiquated method because they don't exist and haven't existed for quite some time.
Isn't it? I guess that's what that was for, really. Response videos.
It wasn't response. It was like, it's a response to the original. Have a listen to this.
I think the original sucks. Here's my version.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't want it to sound like that, but you know.
But yeah, no.
So what's been your favourite album to produce so far? Because obviously you've covered quite a lot of the earlier Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, 6 to 10 at the moment. It's probably 7 because it's the game that I have the most fond memories of. Kind of growing up with it when I was like 10 or so. So just revisiting all the themes that I knew, and so many. Like there are a couple that you like listen to the soundtrack of, and it's like, oh, I can't remember this. When was this in the game, sort of thing. But in the 7 one, it's like, oh, this was then, this was then, this was then.
I think that 7 is the one where that happens. Like, it's easiest to just position where all of the different music plays and what it's associated to.
Especially men of our age, Darryl. Yeah, I think, especially of our time. I think more people might get that. But yeah, so that's kind of the one I have most fun with. Not necessarily the actual production, just the playing of the themes and the arranging of those tracks, really.
And I mean, do you kind of listen back to those initial ones that you did, like the Maker Reactor, and just, are you still really proud of them as you were when you first published it, or do you still kind of now it's just a bit cringe, or you feel like you want to go back and reproduce them again? Or
well, if they were that cringe, I'd just delete them from YouTube. but no, there are things like I've learned. So we'll probably get onto it in a bit, but in a couple of months, I'll be doing a new 8 version of my 8 tribute, because just over the past 6-7 years, you just learn a lot and get new techniques, or just basically buy new sample libraries that you can use as the soft synths in the background to make it sound a bit better. So that's like, the arrangement wise, I think I'm happy with the old stuff. It's just sometimes just the recording quality and some of the sounds, how it sounds, kind of.
I think that is definitely something that people don't necessarily take into consideration, because like music technology is really hard. Like if you can get a good synth and a good sample library, it can make a world of difference. And obviously, like, when you're kind of first starting up and you don't really have the funds available, you kind of just have to use what you have available.
Yeah, totally. Like if you got to use your built-in library that you get with your DAW, then that's what you've got, really. Yeah, that's kind of why that would be the only reason why I want to re-record stuff rather than any.
So it's more of like a remaster.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's an HD remaster.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Final Fantasy VIII, the Zodiac. No, it's definitely not that.
No. So yeah, I mean, you've kind of alluded to there, but like, what is that kind of what's next for you? Is the Final Fantasy VIII album?
Yeah, that'll be coming up at mid to late October, I think, and then I think I'm going to work on some Dark Souls stuff. This is a bit different.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
it's kind of because a lot of that stuff, not to get into it too much on your Final Fantasy podcast, but a lot of the boss themes are so bombastic and so loud. Basically, it'd be nice to just kind of reduce it.
Calm it down a little bit.
Chill out, Taurus demon. So angry about that. Yeah, so that'll be what I'm doing for the rest of the year. Hopefully, you get that out around.
No, I'm totally all for the Dark Souls.
Oh, cool. Good.
And then next year, are you thinking about, because you said before you didn't want to go 2 years without a Final Fantasy album, you're going to be doing another one next year, maybe after Final Fantasy X?
Do you guys want a hot TPR exclusive?
Oh, go on then.
So I reckon I will be working on a 4 and 5 double album in the first half of the year.
That's a good tease.
Yeah.
Yes, very good tease.
I'm not confirming it, but it will probably happen.
Good chance.
Yeah, I reckon. Like, I've been playing, because did they come out officially over here in the UK? In the original on Super Nintendo 4 and 5? No, exactly. So unless you know, like I did when I was a kid, play it on an emulator, then never really got the chance to enjoy it as it was meant to be played. But it came out on that was 3 that came out on the DS, wasn't it?
They have done a remake
Have they?
of 4.
Okay, well, regardless, I'm playing.
It's on the PC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm playing 4 on my phone now, and it's just perfect for like long train journeys up to London to see you guys. You just put on my Final Fantasy 4, listen to the newish soundtrack, and it is just like, I don't know what you guys think of the phone ports, but I didn't really have much of a reference from the originals. But it's it's so much fun to play, and I've been really enjoying it, and the soundtrack's good fun, so I'll probably have a go at that, and throw in 5 as well.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good.
Problem is, now I'm running out.
You're running out of stuff.
I want to hear 10-2.
I know.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
You got 10-2, you got
10-2 could be a
11,
good
you got a lot
fun
of ones from 11.
11 would have a
14.
massive amount of stuff, and I think that would pretty suit your style quite well, actually.
Yeah. Not being biased or anything.
No, of course not. I hate the 11 soundtrack. What are you talking about?
Well, any albums that I get to do that aren't Chrono Cross will anger my fans, so I don't mind.
Crystal Chronicles as well, Daryl's. We're just gonna write your whole set for you.
Go for it.
Actually.
Go for it then. Then when they don't like it, I can just blame you.
Whenever you run out of ideas, we will be likely to have some.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's like 100 Final Fantasy games, so you
That's
shouldn't be
true.
short of material.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I know.
All the bravest, you gotta cover that one.
No.
No.
All right, so with that, I think we should head on to some Gamescom discussions,
Ooh.
which was interesting. I don't think Gamescom happened the way that anyone remotely thought it was going to.
No.
No.
No. I think everybody was pretty much thrown off from what happened at Gamescom.
Were you actively like paying attention to Gamescom, Dan, or were you just kind of letting it, just waiting to see what was going to happen anyway?
I think I get most of my news through you guys, so I
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Well, you're my foremost news source for all things Final Fantasy.
Oh, I feel so honored.
Well, you were being nice to me earlier, so I thought it'd be good to repay the favour. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so about 8 or so years ago, 2009, I was working on Gaming Magazine as the copy editor, sub on some gaming mags, and it was quite a big thing because I think it was it grew out of something else, didn't it? Like Leipzig, and then Gamescom happened.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was kind of big because it was this show that now, hey, we're European and we've got a trade show, take that up yours, E3, sort of thing. Sorry, Lauren. I didn't mean that.
And it was kind of weird as well because obviously E3 is press only.
Yeah.
And Gamescom was not press only. And I think the first time I went, there was 200,000 people that went, or something ridiculous. Just waves and waves and waves of people. And yeah, back in 2008, 2009, it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Whereas now, they've announced way more stuff for Final Fantasy 15 they did at Gamescom than they did at E3.
Wow. Is that because of a perceived larger European audience, or just?
I don't know.
I don't know, yeah.
I mean, Tabata, I know for Final Fantasy 15 stuff at least, I feel like Tabata really prefers European publications or European, doing press stuff over here rather than anywhere else, really.
Okay.
Except for, of course, Uncovered. Uncovered is kind of the trump card in that regard.
Yeah.
But he does love England, and I think he likes Europe quite a bit. So, I don't know. I mean, because, a year or two ago, he, of course, had the popular Dawn trailer for Final Fantasy 15 as well. And, he's done a lot of big stuff at Gamescom. So I don't know if it's mainly just him at the moment driving it, because it does seem like it's only been recently that it's gotten so huge.
Gamescom this year, it pretty much was the Final Fantasy 15 show, and it's kind of weird because the game came out almost a year ago now.
Yeah, I know.
And they probably announced more stuff at this Gamescom than they ever have at any other point, even probably including Uncovered.
Yeah, I know. It's really strange, and it's not only that; it's what they announced that is a bit odd.
Yeah, so I think we'll start off with the stuff that isn't so odd.
Yeah.
So before Gamescom started, they announced Final Fantasy 15 on the PC, which I think everyone kind of knew was coming.
Yeah, I forgot to mention it on that podcast with the predictions. I had it in the back of my mind.
I can't even remember what we predicted.
Oh, I predicted weird stuff, but I definitely always thought that PC would be coming, and yeah, now it's coming.
And it was quite interesting as well because they announced it during the NVIDIA press conference, and I mean, we've seen bits before with the fact that Tabata has decided to work closely with NVIDIA. It doesn't look like the rest of the company has decided to work closely with NVIDIA. It's just Tabata working with the Luminous engine. The Witch Agnes Philosophy demonstration that came out about 2 years ago, that was kind of like the first project where they worked together.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone thinks that looks amazing.
Yeah.
And because of how successful that was,
I apologize for all the beeping. I'm gonna go all the way to the lunchroom area. Maybe it's down there. It's quiet. It's a freaking place. You know, I used to be able to record in my room because my last roommate was pretty quiet, but now I got some old cranky guy in my room and I can't be doing the videos like I used to. So, and I can't find a quiet place on my floor. I'm on the first floor of this facility because any of the quiet rooms are by people who scream, as you've probably noticed in some of my other videos, I'm sure, if you've been watching them. Alright, don't look like anybody's down here. Okay, let me get back to this and podcast. Here we go.
they decided they were going to work together and release Final Fantasy 15 on PC. So they've been working on it for about 2 years at this point, which is quite crazy, really.
Yeah.
And they've integrated a load of NVIDIA exclusive stuff. And
it does look gorgeous.
It does, yeah. I mean, like, there's new hair physics and there's new smoke physics.
It looks better than the original.
Physics.
Like, it just looks so much better.
Do you think that's there are going to be people who wanted to play Final Fantasy 15 and haven't yet played it because they're waiting for a PC release?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, more than likely. Because, like, it's this weird sort of community. Well, not weird, but, like, there's... I know, it's not that. It's just that, like, there's a lot of very dedicated PC gamers out there who think that all consoles are crap and believe that
And there's also just a lot of people that don't want to buy a console.
Yeah, so they're strictly PC gamers.
And, I mean, to be honest, like, the PC version of most games is generally the best from a graphical perspective because...
Yeah, because they can do more.
Yeah, because they're not restricted to... This box has this capabilities, so therefore you have to optimize towards it. With this, they're talking. I mean, some of the specs were leaked were crazy. You're talking about, £700 or £800 graphics cards.
Yeah.
Needed to even just run the game. Like, it's kind of ridiculous specifications, but that if you want the game to look amazing, then you can do that, and it's going to be 4K textures and like everything you would want from the game.
Yeah.
Is going to be kind of thrown into there, including mods.
Yeah.
So they're doing mods, and Tabata has kind of said, do whatever the hell you want, we're going to let you get on with it.
Yeah.
Which is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I know. But it is nice that, like, in the last 10 years or so, that Final Fantasy has gone back to PC, because there was a big chunk of time where they were just really against it and just didn't do anything, and then now they're just making them more accessible.
Final Fantasy 8 was the last one.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've really been struggling, because Final Fantasy 13 on PC was really bad.
Yeah, but of course they've had, like, the MMOs. They've had Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14. But yeah, they've been doing ports since about probably Final Fantasy 13 or so.
13 was the first one they
the
took
13
seriously.
series, at least. And like, I feel like that's just brought new life into the older games a bit more, because people can now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you say about the ownership of the PC, Dan. Like, it was kind of alarming to me. I just didn't expect it. The fact that I think on Steam, Final Fantasy 7 has had over 1 million sales.
Wow,
which is crazy.
And who is still buying it?
I rebought it. I know, Daryl's. I know you're going to look at me.
But it's like you kind of think, like, what? Because it's now been re-released on the PC, PS3, and PS4, and you can play it on the Vita as well. Probably.
I would love to know how many of those million or however many people have bought it are playing it for the first time.
Yeah, versus rebuys.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I just find it so much more convenient to play on my laptop. Granted, I don't think that I'll probably be able to play Final Fantasy. Well, I can't play anything at all at the moment on my laptop because I got a new MacBook and
Final Fantasy 15 is PC exclusive, no Mac.
Well, all of the Final Fantasies are. Oh, I hate that they did that on Mac. Anyway, but yeah, no, I would be unable to play it now. But when I could, on my old Mac, when I could have Windows 7, I used to play all the Final Fantasy games quite regularly on it. But yeah, no.
Well, if I'm looking at the time on this right, it's been over a half hour, so I better call it. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.